Welcome back. We're after 2 rounds of the Group A final. It could hardly be closer, with 2 contestants on 10 points, but the joint leaders on 12 are the analyst programmer from Murfield, Alex Mowat, and the insurance clerk from Ewell, Richard Lambert. So absolutely nothing in it as we go into round 3, observation. And this is the round where our group finalists are challenged on their ability to remember visual and verbal detail contained in a short drama sequence. They're about to hear Chief Inspector Fred Pilkington reminisce about another of the baffling crimes he's solved single-handed. And it's all for the benefit of journalist Julie Webb. Contestants, turn to your screens now, please, and concentrate hard on the case of the corrupt councillor.
Clifford Collins wanted to turn this place into a shopping mall. How could he?
With a little help from his friends. Namely, one Trevor Seaton, head of libraries and museums. Seaton promised to swing things with the council so that Collins could buy cheap.
That smacks of corruption.
If Seaton could starve the library of essential funds, he'd have no difficulty in making out a case for closure. Collins would take the building off the council's hands, provided he got planning permission for the shopping mall.
Which Seaton would recommend.
Exactly. He'd not reckoned with Nicky Constance. She'd only been at the library 7 weeks, but she got wind of what was afoot. Some friends of hers ran Eyewitness, an alternative newspaper, so she got them to investigate Seaton at college. They ran a major expose, and Seaton was suspended. That was 86. In 89, he retired due to ill health. Then in 91, Collins went bankrupt. So although neither of them ever appeared in court, you could say justice had been done.
Thanks to Nicky.
Excellent performances there, as always, from Roy Barraclough and Annabel Giles. Our thanks to them. Right, contestants, reach for your keypads now, please. Coming out 5 questions on what you saw and heard with multi-choice answers. Here's question 1. In the flashback, what was the title of the book Nicky put on the shelf? Your choices. Time is up. The answer is C, Women in War. Question 2. When Collins and Seaton set up their corrupt deal, Seaton promised to do what with the council? Time's up. The answer is A, swing things. What animal was on the cover of the yellow Eyewitness magazine? And the answer is A, cat. Seaton and Collins were sitting in a stationary car. What was its registration number? And the answer is B, C877LHD. Finally, question 5. In which year did Seaton retire? And the answer is D, 1989. And immediately all the contestants' choices and their speed of reaction are processed by the computer, and here's the result of the round. Richard, you got 2 right and a 4th 2 points. Paul, you got 3 right and a 3rd 4 points. Steve, also 3 right, but faster than Paul, so 2nd and 6 points. But congratulations, Alex, 4 right, so you win the round with 10 points, and all those points are now added to the current totals. And with 3 rounds gone, it's still very tight between 2nd, 3rd and 4th, but going 6 points clear now with a Krypton factor of 22. From Murfield, West Yorkshire, Alex Mowat. Major Peter Lyons of the Army Physical Training Corps starts what could be a very close assault course race, certainly if past form is anything to go by, because if we look back to the times each of these group finalists recorded in their respective heats, only 8 seconds separated 3 of them, and Steve Wigley in blue, who had the fastest time, was just over 10 seconds better. So they'll all fancy their chances here, and having run the course before, they'll have a better idea of how to pace themselves. Into the switchback virtually together, and the race living up to its promise so far. The conditions wetter than in the heats with a stiffish breeze blowing, but nonetheless we'd expect them to improve on their heat times by up to 30 seconds or more if past experience is anything to go by. So a third of the way down the course, and in the lead is Grimsby Primary School teacher Steve Wigley, second Richard Lambert, third Alex Mowat, fourth Paul Clark. But Steve Wigley about 10 yards clear. He's a big man, 6'2" and 14 stone, teaches at Strand Junior School in Grimsby. And behind him, Richard Lambert in yellow and Alex Mowat in green are virtually level, with Paul Clark only a couple of yards further back. And they all need to work really hard now to prevent Steve from increasing his lead. And I think that if anything, Richard and Alex have closed that gap a little bit. Just a couple of strides behind as they go up the cargo net. And Paul Clark still there too. Bit of a kung fu expert. He's been practicing that sport for 2 years. But it's Steve Wigley still out in front. And he arrives now at the tricky chain bridge, and it's very easy to lose your rhythm on that. And Alex Mowat emerges from the S-bend a couple of strides ahead of Richard Lambert. And onto the chain bridge. And, well, Alex not looking too comfortable, and he certainly won't be gaining on Steve there. So the top of the scramble net, Steve Wigley nicely over the top, a smooth roll over, and now he can see just where the others are, and he'll also know that just one careless mistake could let them close right up. And it's Alex Mowat in green, coming over now in second place, Richard Lambert in third, and looking just a little bit tired, and I wonder if they've anything left to mount one big finishing challenge. Steve looking very steady and very determined as he charges on now towards the Burma rope bridge. Quite a climb up to that bridge. Alex still clear of Richard in second place. Alex born in Caithness in Scotland, and he hopes to publish some children's stories he's writing. Steve Wigley about to make his aerial descent. And, well, that's what it looks like from his position, with the big water splash down ahead. And here we go, ready to plunge his feet in and instantly soaked to the skin. But his hands come out of those loops, and he drives on and looks fairly certain now to win this race. This is Paul Clark back in fourth place and likely to stay there as Alex sets off down the aerial slide ahead of Richard Lambert. Alex being sponsored for every point he gets in this contest to help handicapped children, and of course he was the overall leader going into this round. Richard still right there with him, and they're going to battle it out all the way to the finishing line. But here comes Steve, his second victory on the assault course, and a well-deserved and well-earned 10 points. Paul Clark splashes down, and it'll be just 2 points for him. But now Alex Mowat heading for the line. He takes second place, 6 points, a very good run. And Richard, who pressed him all the way, is going to finish third, 4 points. And Paul Clark not that far behind him in fourth place. So a good competitive race all round. And we now go to the scoreboard, where Steve has shortened the lead to just 2 points. But still in front with the Krypton factor now of 28 is the Scotsman living in West Yorkshire, Alex Mowat. So, only 2 rounds to go before we know which of our group finalists advances into the grand final. And this round is regarded as possibly the toughest mental challenge of all, a highly taxing 3-dimensional logic problem. Contestants, take your places, please. In front of each of them is a solid dodecahedron and 8 irregular blocks. Their task is to arrange the blocks in such a way that the dodecahedron is embedded in a translucent cube. Are you ready, contestants? The test starts now.
Well, to many people, this test would be the nearest thing to a living nightmare, but a cool head and logical thought are the key factors in trying to solve it. And the dodecahedron, which is the centrepiece of this puzzle, has 12 faces, each of which is a pentagon. This is Alex Mowat working with the right pieces of the exterior cube, but has them in upside down. Steve Wigley, the only one of tonight's group finalists to have won this round in the heats, and he's made a good start here, in second place overall. And in third place going into the round, Richard Lambert. And that piece he's trying to fit should in fact be at the bottom of the hod. And by now they've all realised the puzzle is symmetrical, but as there's only one way it will fit into the hod, it cannot be inverted. Paul Clark has spotted that there are 4 identical pieces to form the 4 corners. And Steve very close to finishing. It's between him and Paul. Those pieces are right, leaving him with the corners to fit. But it's going to be Paul, I think. Just 2 sections left to slot in. That's one, and that is the other, and he's right back in it. 10 points. Not much to choose between Alex and Richard, but it's clearly third place they're battling for because Steve Wigley is about to finish. In goes the last piece, and he's glad that's over. 6 points. So who'll pick up third place? Well, I think for Alex Mowat, the overall leader, it's going to be a very disappointing round because Richard is about to finish. That completes it. The final section slots in. 4 points to Richard Lambert.
So, congratulations to Paul, 4th going into the round, but that win puts him right back in contention, as you'll see when we go to the scoreboard. And there it is, he has 26 points, Alex down to 2nd place, but the new leader with a Krypton factor of 32, the junior school teacher from Grimsby, Steve Wigley. So, what a last round it's going to be, and for the winner, a place in the Krypton Factor 1993 Grand Final. But after all the group finals have been completed, the highest scoring runner-up will go through too, so points are vital in this last challenge. 75 seconds of rapid-fire general knowledge questions to be answered on the buzzer. 2 points for a correct answer, but 2 points deducted for a wrong answer. Good luck, group finalists. The clock starts now. Which famous flower show is held by the Royal Horticultural Paul?
Chelsea.
Correct. Chelsea, Bath and Hot Cross are types Alex.
Bun.
Correct. Bunker Hill was the first major battle of which war, Paul?
American Civil War.
No, the War of Independence. Which newly independent republic has Tallinn as its capital? Paul?
Estonia.
Correct. Who co-starred with Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct and won an Oscar? Paul?
Michael Douglas.
Correct. Which Douglas, an American general, said, "I shall return"? Paul?
MacArthur.
Correct. According to Arthurian legend, which knight of the Round Table is Lancelot's son? Answer is Galahad. In which major competition did Bernard Gallagher first captain the European team? Alex?
The Ryder Cup.
Correct. Who wrote Riders to the Sea and the Playboy of the Western World? Answer is J.M. Singh. Singapore is separated by the Johor Straits from which other Commonwealth country? Paul?
Indonesia.
No, Malaysia. The malleus is a bone in which organ of the body along with Paul?
The ear.
Correct. Early in the 17th century, who succeeded Elizabeth I as monarch? Steve?
Mary Tudor.
No, James I. What nationality is James Wattinar, the snooker player? Steve?
Thailand.
Correct. In tennis, the tie-break, well, that's it, the end of the round, the end of the contest, and the winner tonight with a Krypton factor of 34, the analyst programmer from Murfield, West Yorkshire, Alex Mowat. Well, it was a great effort by Paul, but our warmest congratulations go to Alex as he now takes his place in the 1993 Krypton Factor Grand Final. We look forward to seeing him there. Next week, it's the opening heat in Group B, so do join us on Monday at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, from all the group finalists and from me, good night.